Yeah, so 3 years have passed. So Nomad, like you said, is the main character in the first game. But in the second game, it's all about the character Prophet, who was the black guy in the first game. He shows up at the very beginning of Crysis 2, and he's been summoned to New York to help save humanity against aliens. And he basically decides that he doesn't want to live with the nanosuit anymore because the nanosuit is kind of becoming part of him, because it like affects his DNA, and he just can't. It's a burden, kind of. So he cuts the suit off of himself, finds a Marine, puts the suit on the Marine, and the Marine kind of becomes Prophet throughout the course of the game. So instead of following Nomad's story, we're now following Prophet's story. And we're going to actually have a comic book that comes out next year that will bridge the gap between Crysis 1 and Crysis 2, so you can see what happens in those 3 intervening years. Weapons, you know, the idea behind the weapons was making something that was kind of like plausibly futuristic, so something that you might see in the year 2023. So a SCAR machine gun is a real machine gun, but they modified it so it feels like it's from the future. So you'll be able to customize all your weapons like in the first game. You can also customize the nanosuit. In multiplayer, you get these things called modules that are like Call of Duty perks, so you can customize the suit as well as the weapons. Yeah, so you've got the armor mode, stealth mode, cloak, so you can go invisible. You've got strength mode, which actually is a default mode now. So if you're not using armor or stealth, you run fast and you jump high automatically. You're strong, you just hit somebody and they fly across the street. And there's also tactical mode, so you can pull the visor down, and then it'll show all the kind of choke points in the level. It'll show where all the ammo drops are. It'll show where all the aliens and the enemies are. So there's the 4 modes, and you can switch quickly between the modes. So on console especially, you can just hit the 2 left and right bumpers to switch between armor and stealth, so you can quickly switch. I think the biggest surprises are going to be the story. So the story is much improved from the first game. They've hired a writer, this guy Richard K. Morgan. He's a really good novelist from the UK. He sat down with the team and basically did all the dialogue, did all the story. He's doing the comic book for us as well. So the story is really strong. There are definitely some twists and turns, a lot of surprises in the game. But I think the most surprising thing is just how improved the gameplay is going to be. It's a vast improvement. If you like Crysis 1, you're going to love Crysis 2. So they've got a new engine, so they've got CryEngine 3, and CryEngine 3 has improved physics, improved lighting models, shaders, crazy water simulations. You know, you see fires in the level that look like real life fires, so there's a lot of really like particle effects improvements that they've done. But the idea was not only to improve the PC graphics and make the best looking PC game again, but also to make the best looking Xbox and PS3 games as well. I guess the new stuff is the nanosuit, so you actually use the powers of the nanosuit in multiplayer, so you can customize your nanosuit like I was talking about earlier. You also get custom classes, so and the maps are you know, pretty small. It's kind of like Call of Duty, frenetic, a lot of action in the maps, a lot of verticality built into the maps. You can climb up things. The level we're showing now is called Rooftops. It's set on top of a building in New York. And a lot of climbing, a lot of shooting down, a lot of jumping over obstacles, so it's very unique. Be a demo. Yeah, it's going to come out probably a month before the game comes out in March next year. I think we covered all the main parts. You know, I think it's going to be an awesome story. It's set in New York, which is a departure from the jungles that Crytek is kind of known for. You know, Far Cry and Crytek and Crysis 1 rather were set in the tropical jungles. So very different feel. It's kind of an all-new Crysis, but at the same time, it's more of what fans know and love of Crysis 1. So really excited to be getting into the hands of gamers finally this March.